This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Several people have been diagnosed with the disease measles in Wisconsin this year. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services reports that 9 cases were confirmed in Oconto County. DHS says the measles virus is extremely contagious and up to 90% of the people around a person with the virus may also become infected if they are not vaccinated. DHS reports all persons infected were exposed to a common source during out-of-state travel. Currently, risk of exposure in the community remains low at this time. Measles can be prevented with 2 doses of the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. The Racine Water Utility says some customers have noticed a musty or earthly smell or taste. Officials say it's due to warmer temperatures in Lake Michigan and natural organic matter. The stress water is safe to drink, and testing shows no signs of contamination. Crews are increasing treatment methods and flushing hydrants across the city to improve water quality. As an ongoing issue in Racine, officials say running your cold tap for a few moments can help with taste. Scammers are getting bolder, and now they're pretending to be Wisconsin consumer protection officials. DATCP says people have been receiving calls from scammers claiming to be with the agency. A representative with the DATCP, Michelle Rainan, says this.
DadCap has certainly been manipulated. Scammers sent fraudulent messages to our DadCap licensees asking them to renew their licenses by providing private information.
If you get a suspicious call, contact DATCP directly through their official number or website. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017 is the number. It's been a long time. By the way, make sure you stream and watch us live on YouTube at 1017thetruth.com. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a minute of a live show. Also, from 6 to 8 tonight, you have Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and me, Dr. Ken Harris. I'm going to rename her to Dr. Denise Thomas. We're going to give her honorary doctorate from the University of Kenneth. That's me, so. So we'll just do that. How's that? Is that good? Okay. All right, so this week, I told you all, you got to get your books, you got to get ready. We are going to be looking at some literature by William Edward Burghardt Du Bois. And this week we'll be looking at some of the chapters. Some of it you'll agree, you'll disagree. You'll be able to give me a call at 833-212-1017, which is the Truth Talk line, talk and text. You'll also be able to hit me on YouTube. We'll be there as well. So no matter what you say, no matter what you do, I want your comments. I want your input. But you really need to know what it is you're talking about and what you're arguing about, because, you need to actually be here. So I want to say, first of all, thank you for being here. It's going to be an interesting week. We're going to agree on a lot of stuff. We're going to disagree. And that's why I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you in terms of what you feel and what you think and whether or not you agree or disagree, all that stuff. Because this, I believe, the black community is at a pivotal point. And I had a conversation with a couple yesterday and somebody I consider a friend, and they argued back and forth, and we talked about community and what's your definition of community, and she went back to what it used to be, and we talked about what it is now. But in the end, it's not that we agreed to disagree. It's that we both recognized that the definition we were using was different. And one thing I learned in studying in higher education and teaching in higher education is that if you can understand and know what a definition of something is, then you can speak on it. That means you're both speaking the same language. You're both talking about the same thing. Good afternoon. Somebody changed their name to R.N. Kawanda. S.E., how you doing? R.N. Kawanda. Sincere Ronnie Ray Rhea is hanging in with us. It's good to see you all. It's going to be an interesting talk, and I want to hear what you have to say in the talk and text line. As we go, as we talk, I want you to put some comments in. R.N. Kawanda already said, but unapologetic, I know what it feels like to have my identity treated like a problem and still rise above it. Du Bois putting language to that inner fight. That's deep. So we're going to do that. She added, he speaks for striving for freedom, not just physical, but freedom to be whole, to be respected, and to live with dignity. He writes, this is a tone that is poetic, but fierce and thoughtful. And it is. And it is. And we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about it. Mr. Owen said community is common unity. How you doing, Dimitri? What's up, Mao? But is that it? I think it's too simplistic, and we'll talk about that this week. We'll talk about all those things. Yep. We'll talk about all of it. So what is the book, The Soul of Black Folk? You still have time to go grab it. You can get it from Amazon. You can probably get it overnight. You can go to Barnes & Noble. You can go to most bookstores, and they'll have it. And we'll talk about it. It's almost like 14 chapters or 12 chapters. We're not going to cover all the chapters. We're going to skip around and do some. Tomorrow, we're going to be covering chapter 6 on the training of black men. And then we'll go from there. Now, the book is written to men, and it's not a misogynistic book. Like most things in the late 19th, early 20th century, they were geared towards men. Up until, 2000, most things were geared towards men. It's not a slap in the face. It's not an insult. It's not a dismissal of women. I just happen to be talking to black men. And many black women in private will tell you that they look for a strong black man. And that is exactly what we're trying to build. I believe the only way to build the black community, quote unquote, is to have strong black men. We're not going to cover all the chapters. We're going to skip around and do some. Tomorrow, we're going to be covering chapter 6 on the training of black men. And then we'll go from there. Now, the book is written to men, and it's not a misogynistic book. Like most things in the late 19th, early 20th century, they were geared towards men. Up until, 2000, most things were geared towards men. It's not a slap in the face. It's not an insult. It's And many people, Gen X, younger Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, they don't teach the souls of black folk in schools. Unless you got into or got a book or got a degree in African American studies, this is probably the first book you need to read. It's the book that sets the path for us. Written in 1903, W.E.B. Du Bois is it's a collection of essays that explore the complexities of African American identity, the legacy of slavery, and the struggle for equality in post-Reconstruction America. You got to remember, in 1903, that is 38 years after the Emancipation Proclamation in 1965. Through a combination of historical analysis, his own personal narrative, and philosophical reflection, Du Bois articulates the lived experience of black Americans and critiques the social, the political, and educational systems that shape our lives. Those three things that shape our lives even until today. Now, it opens up with something that Kwanda just talked about, a double consciousness. It's introduced in the first chapter. We're going to talk about that today. The first chapter we're going to talk about today is of our spiritual strivings. Double consciousness refers to the internal conflict experienced by black people who see themselves through their own self-awareness and through the prejudice lens of a white-dominated society. Younger folks call it code switching, going back and forth, but I'm talking about the lens that you see it in. This duality creates a fractured identity. So if you think about all the stuff I talked about leading up to it, living in the neighborhood, whether or not you know, the color of your skin, your hair, whether or not you're of mixed race, do you have a white parent, all those things. This duality creates a fractured identity, a constant struggle to reconcile your own black heritage with your also American nationality in a country that literally marginalizes both. So if you can imagine being black and being marginalized, and then creating a path where you contend with working and living, breathing, and existing in an all-white world, and then have them marginalize you as well, that's a problem. Du Bois situates this personal and psychological struggle within the broader historical context of slavery, emancipation, and Reconstruction. He examines how he promises the freedom. Well, let me rephrase that. He examines how the promises of freedom were betrayed by racism, segregation, and economic exploitation. In the chapter of the dawn of freedom and of the Black Belt, he critiques the failures of Reconstruction, its policies, and outlines persistent poverty and disenfranchisement facing Southern blacks that we now experience now all over the country. He spoke particularly to Southern blacks. Having been born in Great Barrington in a predominantly white community. Du Bois also integrates culture and spiritual elements into his analysis, and each chapter opens with a bar of a spiritual musical that you have to read the book in order to see, emphasizing the rich artistic and emotional life of Black Americans. Now, in Of the Sorrow songs, the final chapter, he honors the spiritual as a profound expression of the soul of the Black experience, songs born from suffering, of hope, and resistance. We call them Negro spirituals. So personal narrative weaves throughout the book where he gives his comments, particularly in Of the Passing of the Firstborn, where Du Bois reflects on the death of his infant son as both a private grief and a symbol of freedom from the burdens of race in America. This blending that he does with his personal and political illustrates how deeply racism penetrates every aspect of one's life. This is also, if you're not black, gives you an insight to the war that goes on within black people. The Souls of Black Folk is both a protest against racial injustice, but it's also a vision of black dignity and humanity. Du Bois challenges America to confront the moral failure and racial. Let me get that right. Du Bois challenges America to confront the moral failure of racism and to recognize the full personhood of its black citizens. Now, this is done through a combination of scholarship. It includes some empathy and a poetic voice. He gives shape to the soul of a people, us, too often denied visibility. So when we talk about being racially blind, it's a way for the majority society to simply pretend like you're not there. Except they don't pretend. You're simply not there. And if you would just blend into their culture, accept their mores, then you'll be okay. And then finally, the book is a timeless meditation on race, democracy, and the struggle for human freedom. One that continues to influence the conversations on civil rights, identity, and justice. 3 things we're still fighting for today. This week, we're going to fight. Everything we do this week is about the fight for the souls of black people.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 5th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Atlanta Braves.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in August 5th at 6:15 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Maya is always on the move, and so is her money. Buy this here, deposit that there. She and her money are a lot to keep track of. Good thing Maya banks with Landmark Credit Union and uses their amazing mobile app. Maya checks her balance, deposits checks, pays bills, even transfers money between friends. So while Maya's coming and going, she can see her funds coming, going, and, best of all, growing. Landmark Credit Union. Banking made easy. Insured by NCUA.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop, must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HD TVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit 3rdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Don't hit me too hard. Oh, yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Kwanda says, strength, that's exactly how I speak my truth. Real, raw, but never broken. Thanks for putting me up on this good read. Dimitri said, I like how Du Bois talked about his first experience of racism and prejudice as a child in a schoolhouse with a white girl regarding gift cards. And then Kwanda added, yes, Dr. Ken, this book made me put some respect on my name. And SC, you are more than welcome, and you have a great rest of the evening. I'm listening up. All right. 833-212-1017 is the number. You got any comments? You got any questions as we go through? Basically, we're just going to give a summary each day of each chapter. We're going to be talking about of our spiritual strivings. I thought it was important to summarize the first chapter of this book so that you understand exactly what he's trying to write. Du Bois begins with the powerful assertion that the color line is the defining problem of the 20th century. Now, I believe Du Bois passed away in 65, something like that. No, 63, because he passed away on the day of the March on Washington. And at the March on Washington, they had a moment of silence because he decided he didn't want to live in America anymore, moved to Ghana, gave up his American citizenship. He moved there in about 61 and died in 63. The president of Ghana at the time invited him there to do some work for him. And that's where he passed away. Du Bois articulates the psychological and existential experience of being black in America, particularly through the metaphor of double consciousness. It serves as both an introduction to the book's core themes and a philosophical exploration of black identity in a racially divided nation. So what is your identity? Like, what do you identify as? How do you identify yourself as black or of African descent and American, but yet still don't lose what it means to be black? Everything in the sphere of American life pushes down. Even with President Donald Trump getting rid of DEI. Brown University just got back like $50 million they got from the federal government by simply getting rid of their DEI verbiage classes. Doesn't mean it has to occur. Doesn't mean it has to go away. It's just not a public thing. So now, sometimes we're even going back to private conversations people are having and saying, see, they're talking about diversity, so we got to get rid of them. But diversity is not a bad thing. Unless it includes inclusion. He explains that African Americans are constantly negotiating their sense of self. Many times we go to work and we're told to be ourselves. And then we go to work and we're ourselves, and then it's against all of the HR policies that HR says you can and can't do. But yet you try to wonder, well, what is it? You don't have freedom of speech if you're for or against something, right? If you're Christian and you go to church, everybody gets to bash Christianity. They get to bash going to church. They get to bash spirituality. They get to bash religion. But if you bash something they care about, if you are anti-LGBTQ+, if you're anti-trans, if you're let me think of something somebody could be negative towards. If you're anti-Planned Parenthood, all of a sudden, you get bashed. And so then you start to wonder, well, then, can I really be authentic? No, you cannot. Because someone else gets to say what's authentic. I've been told many occasions at many places, just you can come to work, you can be who you are. No, I can't. Because it's difficult for me to follow your social mores, your ideals, your beliefs, and still hold on to mine and be authentic at the same time. And so it causes that double consciousness. That having to dress a certain way or be a certain way. That's why when I fly on an airplane, you know what I wear? If I even don't put on a tie, I put on a dress shirt and a jacket. You know why? People treat you different. If you get on a flight with puffy house shoes and yoga pants, you're not going to get treated right. I'm one of those athletic tops that looks like a bra, but it's actually an athletic bra. With your flat stomach and your navel showing, you're not going to get treated right if you're black. But I've seen many a white person get on a flight like that and nobody said a word. There is a double consciousness that we live with every single day. You have to negotiate yourself. You have to balance your own identity with your identity imposed upon us by white America. The duality creates a fracture. Your soul is fractured. And we're going to talk about the soul today, too. There's some great research that shows that your soul is separate from your mind and your body. But we'll get into that later. 2 warring ideals in one dark body is what he wrote. As Black Americans strive to merge African heritage with American nationality in a place where we never get real full citizenship. And one of the reasons you can't get full citizenship is because you won't act the part. So when you get those older boomers and X who keep screaming to you on how you dress, that's helping you understand that you have to present yourself in a certain way so you can at least be accepted enough to get a job. Is it fair? No. How do you operate in life by living through 2 lenses when you can only see yourself through one? And everybody who looks at you only sees you through one. Now, the lazy part of your brain, before we go to break, the lazy part of your brain says, oh, Glenn is black, by simply looking at his hair, looking at his lips, looking at his nose, looking at his ears, looking at his skin color. Instant. Therefore, you get to make whatever assumptions you want. The problem is only your assumptions are based on what you say are the right hair, the right skin color, the right nose, the right lips, the right ears. We have to take into account both your thoughts and ours, who we want to be and who we have to present ourselves as in order to function in American life. And that's a problem. When we talk about black fatigue, that's what that is. To be in a room full of all black people. I was at the Alpha Phi Alpha Shades and Sundresses day party yesterday. And, you know, I got ADHD. I ain't trying to hang around all these people and everybody's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, my God, it's Dr. Harris. You go through all this, you go through all that. Hey, how you doing? Thanks. I listen every day. Thank you so much. And I appreciate that very, very much. So I have to come out of my shell, sit here, and talk to people. Hey, how's it going? What you doing? People wave. People are happy. But what that is the same reason I'm there. To be in a place where it's all black people who don't necessarily have to talk to each other. But just being in that space is everything. And I wish sometimes, even here at Good Karma Brands, people would actually understand that. So when we talk about working with other people and going out and hanging with other people, that's fine. But you understand, we've been doing that for years, for decades, for centuries. You realize we've just entered into the third set of hundreds of years, not counting, watch this, I'm only counting the 1800s, the 1900s, and the 2000s. If we count just those three, not the 400 through slavery, which now is about what, 500? Of having to carry the weight of two thoughts, two things. If I go there, what do I have to do? Let me see, I'm going to the Falls, I'm going to Mequon, I'm going to Brookfield, I'm going to Greenfield. So I have to present myself in a certain way so that I can go in and go out and not be bothered. Be accepted enough so that they actually do look past me. So you look forward to white people saying, okay, I'm colorblind. That is what I need you to be, so you don't see me. But then that causes an issue. Du Bois goes on, and when we come back, we'll talk about the historical failure of Reconstruction and all the promises that were broken. And we'll tie that into how Milwaukee is functioning today. And how along the way, people got tired, they got fatigued, and they gave up. Milwaukee's not in a bad place. It's just in a place sooner than most other places. And we don't want to look at politics, but politics plays a huge part, and we pretend like it doesn't. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Southbound on 41, backing up from Appleton Avenue all the way down to Capitol. Northbound's a little bit slow from just north of Watertown Plank Road up to Hampton. Southbound on 43, heavy from Good Hope Road down past Bender Road. By the time you hit Silver Spring, you're good to go all the way down into the Marquette interchange. And just a little bit slow in either direction right through the Stadium interchange. Nothing major, just a few taps of the brakes. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, lingering haze and smoke, mostly sunny, a high of 78. Tonight, lingering smoke, partly cloudy with a low of 66 at the lake, 60 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie LaHaziga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
Saving energy and money is easier than you think. Here are 2 simple things you can do to reduce your energy use and lower your energy bill. Use thermal curtains to reduce each room's energy loss by up to 25%, and make sure vents aren't blocked by furniture or rugs to improve airflow and comfort. Simple, smart savings. Get more energy-saving tips at WeEnergies.com.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
I want you to really stress the importance of having an ethnically diverse blood supply. But I guess, what do you say to people that, for whatever reason, are apprehensive about giving blood?
It's not by accident that we are building this fixed donation site right in the heart of this Halyard Park, Harambe neighborhood. And to your point, our black and brown donors, it probably represents the smallest demographic in our donor base. That's attributed to multiple reasons. For those of us that understand the history, there is a lot of underlying mistrust of the healthcare system. And quite frankly, there's already challenges with how busy people are, how accessible they are to even know where to go to donate blood. And let's face it, a lot of folks are scared of needles, right? But when they get through all of that, the importance, I think, is a heavier burden on our black and brown communities, because there are a lot of different blood diseases that require what I'll call more of a match in blood that only comes from people of similar ethnicities. Something that's specific to our black donors and patients is something that I think your listeners are very familiar with: sickle cell disease. The only therapy that get them through their day-to-day life is blood transfusions. And it's not just what I'll call average or normal blood type or blood transfusion. It's actually a specific blood with a specific type called RO blood. And this RO blood typically only comes from people of African descent and Hispanic descent. And so that's why it's so important that our donor base is diverse, so that it helps our ethnically diverse patient population.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The Brewers outscored the Nationals 38-14 in a 3-game sweep this weekend. They also set a franchise record with 56 hits over a 3-game series and maintained their 2-game lead over the Cubs.
And the Brewers turn a double play, and it's a landslide victory in D.C. The Brewers win it 14-3. It's a Milwaukee mandate. They sweep the Nationals, and the Brewers, the first to 67 wins in Major League Baseball.
The Brewers take on the Atlanta Braves in a 3-game series. Brewers sit atop the MLB at 67-44. The Packers host their first preseason game this upcoming Saturday against the Jets at 7 p.m. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Dimitri said this dialogue sort of ties into what Du Bois said about the Negro, black man now, about him not wanting to be Africanized, but wanting to, as an American, Negro American, teach Africa to the world. But do we? Do we really want to teach Africa to the world? Africa is just one part of us. But anyway, good point. Thank you much. Du Bois criticizes the historical failure of Reconstruction and the broken promises of emancipation. We talked about that before with the Freedmen's Bank and how they opened it and then closed it and took back land and all those things, emphasizing that political freedom did not equate to show social, economic, and spiritual liberation. And the three things we have issues with today: spiritual liberation, economic liberation, and social liberation. Instead, African Americans were left to struggle with the burden of proving their humanity in a land that granted them legal rights but denied them dignity and opportunity. And that's been the fight. We don't want DEI. We want the opportunity to prove it by you diversifying those organizations and entities. That's all. That's all. Good Karma Brands presented opportunity. It's up to us to go out and create Truth Nation, create listeners, create all those things. And now we have won multiple awards, having only been in this space for 5 years. We've won awards that other radio stations here have not. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on 1017thetruth.com. We're on YouTube. Why? Because this is a space where we get to talk about us. Everywhere else, we have to blend in and talk about all the things that other people want to talk about that actually may or may not be prudent, that may or may not be, trying to think of a nice word, that may not matter to us. He envisions the struggle for black identity as a spiritual quest for recognition, respect, and wholeness. My question is, why are we going after this? Is this something we need to go after? 833-212-1017. The quest for recognition, respect, and wholeness. Do you need respect from someone else who doesn't want to give you respect? Why do you care? Rather than seeking to obliterate either side of the dual existence, Du Bois argues that black Americans should aim to reconcile and lift up both parts of their identity. Is that something you can do? Would a white person reconcile black people or their thoughts about black people, bringing it to an equal space? So some of what Du Bois talks about, I have pushback about. He wants us to reconcile and uplift both parts of our identity. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of having to not be what I am so I can get along with those that are not like me. If you don't respect me enough because I'm different from you in very few things, but yet when we're denigrated, when we talk about not being shown respect, recognition, and wholeness, it's when people say I'm colorblind, I don't see that, and that the only thing that differentiates us is DNA. We're off by, one little thing and we're different. Well, that's true. but it's still different. But that seems to not be respected in America. I refuse to get rid of one side of my existence, and my black existence significantly outweighs the other side. And I stopped fighting it. I put up with it to get multiple degrees. I put up with it to get a certificate from Cornell. I put up with it to get a PhD from Marion. I put up with it to get an undergrad and MBA from Concordia. I put up with it to get a bachelor's degree from Illinois State, but I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. If I'm with an organization and I don't necessarily get along, or some of the people or some of the things in that organization, I'm stepping back. Because if I don't, I'm not being authentic to myself. And I'm talking about authentic in a true fashion, not authentically lying to people. Because if I stay, I would be authentic, but then I'd be lying to people, not being my true self. He says the Negro is not simply a figure in American politics or economics, but a soul, striving for self-realization, beauty, and truth. Well, if you strive for self-realization, beauty, and truth, can you really reconcile and uplift both parts of your identity? I say no. It's like Dimitri gave the perfect example. It's like going along to get along. Why do I need to get along? 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Well, first thing I would say is just concentrate on you. And if they don't respect you, so what I always say, if you don't respect me, I'm not looking for you to respect me, because 100% of the time you're dead to me, and I could walk right over you with your guts coming out your head, and it would not bother me one time. So I would say just focus on you. See, I think the problem what have happened is people have been so caught up as you don't like me. I don't care if you like me. Matter of fact, you can blow your head off. I wouldn't care. Okay? Just don't get no blood on me, and I can concentrate on being me. And if our culture would have did that, it probably have so much power. But this thing of, well, let me try to make somebody like you. And I think they have done some damage, because I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you starve. I don't care if your stomach come out your back. If you want to jump off a bridge, jump. I see you when you hit the bottom, and I'm going to go the other direction. Because when you get to a point where you're worried about what other people think, you're pretty much giving them the gun and the bullets. And if you're going to give them the gun and bullets, let them shoot themselves, and you just walk the other direction. Just make sure you use the bleach to clean around your house. And use the concentrated vinegar as well, too, because you don't want the smell coming in your house. Have yourself a good day.
Al.
Yes.
But isn't that borderline hatred? Like, aren't you giving somebody too much of your, like, it sounds like they're parked in your mind a lot.
No, it's not. If you don't like me, you're dead to me. So why should I get upset if you don't like me? Kill yourself.
But the energy it would have to take in order for you to avoid that person every time you see them. Can't that start to weigh on you?
No, because if they're considered, if you consider them dead to you, can walk right past them and don't worry about it. That's how you take the power away. And they know that too. That's why they push their racism, because we keep giving them to their power. If you don't give them to their power, hold a smile. And when they see your smile don't change, they know you're dead to them. No, they're dead to you, mentally and physically. And even if they reach their hand out and say, help me, they're still dead to you. And live your life. That's it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee is
It's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can hear what the future leaders of the world have to say. Truth Nation, I'm proud to present the 8 Block, powered by City on the Hill and 1017 The Truth. Hosted by me, your boy, Ben Jammin. Every other Saturday at 9 a.m., 8 Milwaukee teens will share stories and laughs that will speak truth to what matters most in their lives.
I'm here to discover different levels about myself.
I'm really here to get my name out there and have a different perspective on life.
So tap in every other Saturday at 9 a.m. Truth Nation, welcome to the 8 Block.
Hey Truth Nation, it's your girl Noni Juice for Steinhafels. And are you looking for your best night's sleep? Well, you can get it with a new Tempur-Pedic from Steinhafels. Experience Tempur-Pedic's advanced pressure-relieving power designed to help make aches and pains a thing of the past. Right now, Queen Hybrids start at just $52 a month with Steinhafels 60-month financing. Plus, get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Upgrade with an anti-snore adjustable base for your best sleep yet. Steinhafels is your mattress destination. Shop in-store or online today.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, August 14th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Jackson Park, Picnic Area 2, located at 3500 West Forest Home Avenue, and at the Basilica of St. Josephat, located at 2333 South 6th Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last. Brought to you by Common Council President Jose G. Perez and Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Trying to put me to sleep now. Like, really? You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hey, we're calling all black businesses and business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. So to sign up for your business spotlight interview, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback, all one word, .com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth for official rules. Head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. So, not really a city girl said Du Bois talks about the veil as something that keeps black folks from being fully seen or accepted in American society. Black folks are seen in many ways today. Do you feel the veil still exists? From white people? Because I sent a note back saying I don't really understand what she was saying. But I think white people have a veil up. And they don't want to see us the way that they want to see. They just, that whole, I don't see race. I just don't see you. And Du Bois challenges the notion that the goal of black advancement should be assimilation into whiteness. Instead, he insists on the value of black culture, intellect, and moral strength, that he holds that the Negro contribution to American civilization, I always have trouble with that word, has been both vital and undervalued. Look at all the things that we've done, all the things that we've invented, all the special people, but we keep getting the same people every single Black History Month, as if
as if after 1950, nothing ever happened. After 1960, nothing ever happened. The path forward, he suggests, lies not in mimicry. Don't act like white people, but in mutual recognition. Will that ever happen? That's the question. A fuller democracy where black people are both self-conscious and socially acknowledged as fully human. So finally, by the end of the chapter, Du Bois lays a foundational place of morality. The spiritual strivings of black folks are not secondary to economic and political concerns, but are in fact the very essence of the black struggle in America. Again, the spiritual strivings of black folks are not secondary to economic or political concerns, but are in fact the very essence of the black struggle in America. And these strivings are rooted in the desire to actually be both black and American, to embrace African and American without contradiction, without one canceling the other, as what's happening in society today. We're just going to cancel black. They didn't cancel Hispanic. They didn't cancel Asian. They just cancel black. And like everything, when something is detrimental and they don't like it, they attach a black face to it and say, see that. The desire to be both black and American without contradiction means to possess dignity and live in a society where identity is affirmed rather than denied. That means affirmed, supported, and recognized. Otherwise, you're just diminishing the souls of black folks. Top 5 at 5, up next.
Truth Nation! The Wisconsin State Fair is back. This year's State Fair runs from July 31st to August 10th. You know how it goes down at the State Fair. Whether it's the delicious food, fun rides, the competitions, or the music, there's always something for the entire family. And the Truth wants you to enjoy the whole experience, which is why we will be giving away a pair of tickets on both Truth to Power and Jamming with Juice. So make sure to listen for your chance to win tickets so you don't miss your chance to enjoy the Wisconsin State Fair, courtesy of the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 19th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 19th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Jess Sims is always looking to take her performance to the next level.
I'm facing you, then you're gonna switch.
You got this, Jess.
We got this.
And she needs her money to work as hard as she does. That's why she uses U.S. Bank Smartly Checking and Savings, which does exactly that, helping her track her spending and grow her money.
Adamant about the mental work.
Together, we'll achieve more than any of us could alone. That's the power of Jess, and this is the power of us. Visit usbank.com today to get started. Member FDIC, copyright 2025, U.S. Bank.
Need health care but don't have insurance? City on the Hills Health Clinic offers free medical care, mental health counseling, and dental hygiene services for uninsured and underinsured Milwaukee residents. They're on a mission to end generational poverty in all its forms, and you can be a beneficiary of it. If you've got a heart for Milwaukee and qualify as a Milwaukee resident, take advantage of City on the Hills Health Clinic today. Just visit cityonthehillmke.org. That's cityonthehillmke.org. City on the Hill, hope, healing, and health for our city. Visit City on the Hill today.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just
hard on both of us, but, try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Several people have been diagnosed with the disease measles in Wisconsin this year. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services reports that 9 cases were confirmed in Oconto County. DHS says the measles virus is extremely contagious, and up to 90% of the people around a person with the virus may also become infected if they are not vaccinated. DHS reports all persons infected were exposed to a common source during out-of-state travel. Currently, risk of exposure in the community remains low at this time. Measles can be prevented with 2 doses of the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. The Racing Water Utility says some customers have noticed a musty or earthly smell or taste. Officials say it's due to warmer temperatures in Lake Michigan and natural organic matter. The stress water is safe to drink, and testing shows no signs of contamination. Crews are increasing treatment methods and flushing hydrants across the city to improve water quality. As an ongoing issue in Racine, officials say running your cold tap for a few moments can help with taste. Scammers are getting bolder, and now they're pretending to be Wisconsin consumer protection officials. DATCP says people have been receiving calls from scammers claiming to be with the agency. A representative of the DATCP, Michelle Rainin, says this.
DadCap has certainly been manipulated. Scammers sent fraudulent messages to our DadCap licensees asking them to renew their licenses by providing private information.
If you get a suspicious call, contact DATCP directly through their official number or website. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be talking about Chapter 6. So if you don't have a book, I don't know how to help you. It's in public domain, so you can buy it. It's like $6, $7. You can go to Amazon and just... And no, I'm not getting paid by Amazon, so you can just, you can go and just, go ahead and get your book so we can follow along this week. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the training of black men. We're going to be talking about the talented 10th, and we're going to talk about all that. What it really means, not what people have been told in this cutesy, I'm part of the talented 10th because are you? And ladies, yes, you too can be part of the talented 10th. It started out for men, but now women need it just as much. And so it's one of the things we're going to be looking at, one of the things we're going to be examining as we go through this week, looking at what I think is the quintessential book that every black person needs to read to understand Black America, and that's The Souls of Black Folks by W.E.B. Du Bois, William Edward Burghardt Du Bois. Okay, let me do this. Nope, I'm going to wait. I'll check the talk and text line when I'm done with my top 5 at 5. So if you got any questions, if you got any issues, got any comments, you can hit me on the phone. 833-212-1017 is the number, I'm going to call it the Truth Nation talk and text line. I'm giving it a new name. Hey, did y'all hear about that Oak Creek home invasion?
Number 5.
From CBS 58, they got surveillance video of an Oak Creek family who's searching for answers after 3 people break into their home. That was on Saturday night. Joseph Duke says his 11 and 12-year-olds were at home Saturday night when the break-in occurred. Duke says no one was harmed, but he and his family say they feel they've lost all sense of security when they're home. Duke said, "We left the kids here. They wanted to play their video games. My daughter calls my wife and says, I think someone's in the house. So I proceeded to look into the camera, and sure thing, 3 masked subjects were kicking in my back door." Oak Creek Police says it happened shortly before 10 p.m. near South 27th and Rawson. Duke called 911. His kids hid in one of the closets inside the home, and after a short while ran outside. Duke says Oak Creek Police arrived within minutes, and upon arrival, they say they created a plan to secure the scene and were able to get the children to safety and get them out the house. The kids were unharmed and were reunited with their parents. Officers cleared the residence to make sure nobody else was inside. Duke said they're a little traumatized. They don't understand what happened, a little violated. Duke says while no one was injured, he's concerned about his family's safety and hopes they get answers soon. He said, definitely updating our security and everything else that comes with that, just letting the community know that we kind of stick together. We kind of got to stick together and watch out for each other. Oak Creek Police have not made any arrests. The investigation is ongoing. There's a $3,000 cash award for anyone with information about the break-in. That would utterly terrify me, to come in and see someone walking through my house with masks and gloves on, trying to see if they can get something, not knowing that the kids were there, walking around and looking in and out. And so what do you do when something like that happens? Do you have a plan? And so we talk about that, but do you actually have a plan? Do you have a plan on what to do if someone breaks into your house? Because I know most people don't. Most people talk about it, but they really don't have a plan. Well, I do. And I hope I'm home. I'm just saying.
Number 4.
From WISN.com, Milwaukee police are investigating a body that was recovered from the Menominee River in downtown Milwaukee. Incident happened near 21st Street and West Mount Vernon Avenue this afternoon. That's around noon. Police said the death does not appear to be suspicious, but the cause remains under investigation. Milwaukee Fire Department and Marquette University Police responded to the location. And for those of you that are under this misguided thing that Marquette are not the police, they are state certified law enforcement officers. So if you think you can mess with Marquette and think they're just security, you might be in for a rude awakening.
Number 3.
From Fox6Now.com, it's easier to attend select Wisconsin football games this fall with nonstop service to and from Dane County Regional Airport. Nonstop service returns on American Airlines, Delta Airlines, and United Airlines. Flights include 2 away games at the University of Alabama and the University of Oregon, and UW fans in Ohio and Seattle will be able to fly to Madison nonstop for a game against Ohio State And the University of Washington. Why? I don't know. Anyway, say what?
They'll probably lose every single one of those games.
You know they will. Whenever you do something special for a game, hey, we got a bobblehead. Boop, you lose. Well, Dane County Executive Melissa Agard said, thank you to our airline partners. Why is everybody a partner now? Well, we used to be a client. Now they're partners. Well, no, you're not. Don't get paid and see how soon they're not partners. Anyway, for making it easier for Badger fans to get to the away game this fall. As a UW alum, I know many fans will appreciate these convenient travel options at our airport where they can take advantage of easy parking and quick lines. So, why? Like, why is this a thing? I don't really understand. Oh, it's for those people that can afford it. Got it. So you probably already got season tickets. You've already talked to the people there who have season tickets and who follow the Badgers, and you're just accommodating them to get them to. Got it. Okay. It's not for us little people who got to buy a commercial ticket and go, okay, I got it. Man. Thought that was special. So I got a question.
Number 2.
Is this talking out of both sides of your face? So, I don't know if you heard. Texas Democrats left. They fled Texas to go to a blue state, right? We got to get out of here because we're against gerrymandering, right? Democrats are always against gerrymandering when it's against them. But when they do it to other people, it's okay. That's my issue I have with this double-mindedness of Democrats, right? They do it to you. They'll move and make a group of people Democrat by building a district where they know they'll vote for them. And usually, as they've done some places in the South, have done it to remove all black districts and spread it out enough so that the black vote is diluted. So you can't vote in somebody black. Because we all know white people vote in white people, black people vote in black people, Hispanic and Asian. That's just how it is. That's life. But here's the kicker. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is rolling out the red carpet for Democratic state lawmakers who fled Texas. This is from FoxNews.com. Yeah, I know you already got your, face all twisted. As they push back against a move by President Donald Trump to add 5 Republican-controlled congressional seats in their state. Pritzker, a Democrat, said on last night, as the lawmakers arrived in Illinois, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure they're welcome here, that they have the ability to stay as long as they need to and want to. Well, the lawmakers fled in order to prevent the quorum needed in the Republican-dominated state legislature to vote today on new redistricting maps, which passed a committee vote this weekend along party lines. The redistricting push in Texas is part of a broader effort by the GOP, Republicans, across the country to keep control of the House and cushion losses elsewhere in the country, as the party in power traditionally faces political headwind and loses seats in midterm elections. But veteran Republican strategist Matt Whitlock argued that the decision by most of the Democratic lawmakers to head to Illinois, with a few others decamping in 2 other blue states, New York and Massachusetts, he called it cartoonishly dumb. Remember, they did that here as well with Act 10. They fled to Illinois. Tom Bevan of Real Clear Politics, co-founder and president, wrote on X the idea that Texas Democrats will flee to Illinois. And here's the kicker where you talk out of both sides of your face. This is a state where Democrats have abused gerrymandering to comic levels is perfection. So you're going to protest partisan gerrymandering. Texas Democrats are fleeing to Illinois, where Illinois did partisan gerrymandering and created Democratic seats to become majority Democrat. Like what? Pritzker, the 2-term Illinois governor, who is seen as a potential 2028 Democratic Party White House hopeful, which I hope he's not, any Democrat you could possibly find in the world. Well, all things being equal. That guy, nah. Criticized Trump and Republicans for cheating as they push for rare mid-decade congressional redistricting. The governor said Texas Democrats are left with no choice but to leave their home state to block a vote from taking place and protect their constituents. This is a righteous act of courage. So here's the problem with that. Anybody know what the problem is? 833-212-1017 is the number. So here's the problem with that. Texas Tribune. The Texas House voted this afternoon to track down and arrest more than 50 Democratic lawmakers who were not present when the chamber gavelled in. After the 85-6 vote, House Speaker Dustin Burrows said he would immediately sign civil warrants for each of the legislators, empowering the chamber's sergeant-at-arms and state troopers to arrest and bring them to the Capitol. Now, one thing you need to understand, this by the Republicans is just, pontificating. It really doesn't have a lot of power. The warrants only apply within state lines, making them symbolic. They're all in Illinois, New York, and Massachusetts. So what are we doing? Well, we just want to do it because we want to do it, right? This is the idiocy that both sides play. This is the idiocy that they play back and forth. You can gerrymander, but you only gerrymander when it's Democrat. And when you gerrymander when it's Democrat, you make sure black people don't have their own district. So you're doing what W.E.B. Du Bois talked about, right? You're diminishing, you're disrespecting, basically pushing black people aside. And if you act like us, well, then we're going to treat you like us, and we're just going to disregard you. So either way, you lose. I think people are now starting to see that with Republicans, you might lose, but with Democrats, you were already losing, and you really didn't notice it. Now when you take a step back and you're not integrated, and you recognize that double consciousness, you start to see that the Democratic Party has actually treated you worse than Republicans. Republicans didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing for us. But neither have the Democrats. And then people become emotional and they get mad and, oh my God, you're crazy. As if the only other place we can go other than Democrat is Republican, when in fact there's an independent base that's in the middle where you can vote your morals and your conscience and do what you think is right. And to be honest with you, your political persuasion is nobody's business anyway. That is what we need to push. Vote your conscience and be done. If you vote as a block, you're dismissed. If you vote as an individual, people complain and get mad at you because they want to know who you voted for when it's none of their business. Why we make these things public is beyond me. We'll talk about it on the Truth Unfiltered from 6 to 8 tonight with Denise Thomas and myself about how you can look up a person's vaccine if you have their information. You can look up a person's immunization record. That's ridiculous. We were talking about that, and in the next few minutes, we'll be talking about this whole measles outbreak and how that's going to impact Wisconsin, because we've had 9 cases already, which can easily turn to 900 in a flash.
Number 1.
From thegrio.com, when Salt and Pepper entered the music industry 40 years ago, they paved the way for women in the industry, and now the members of the first female rap group to go platinum hope to inspire more artists by fighting for their rights in their lawsuit against Universal Music Group. Cheryl Salt James and Sandra Pepper Denton filed a lawsuit against the record label in May to reclaim their recording rights. That's according to Universal Music Group's, who refuses to honor copyright laws. During an interview with Robin Roberts on Good Morning America, James and Denton opened up about their legal battle and claimed that the record company has been removing some of their biggest hits from streaming services. So when you're an artist In the beginning, you sign a contract saying that the copyrights will revert back to you after 35 years. And we've done all the legality and all the legally things that we're supposed to do to get our copyright back. And they just refuse. So we're suing them. It's the law. That's what it really boils down to. It's the law. Now, Salt and Pepper members claim that Universal Music Group is refusing to let them exercise their termination rights, a federal copyright law that allows artists to reclaim copyright to their original recordings for a certain period. After a certain period. It just keeps us from re-releasing our music. Promoting it didn't explain. She believes the record label is withholding their rights to their music due to the worth of their hit records like Push It. Now, obviously, it's something. They want to keep it. They want to hold on to it, and they're trying to fight us, she said. So obviously they understand what's the worth of that. So since the duo filed UMG has pushed back with a motion to dismiss, claiming that their rights are legally invalid because they were not the ones who signed the contract. They said, we're the artists, and the law is to protect the artists. She chimed in, we don't have that leverage. We don't have that knowledge. We didn't have that control in the 1980s. And so, to be held to a contract from 1985 and 40 years later, it's ridiculous. Despite their ongoing legal battles, this year marks a big year in their career as they prepare to be inducted into, the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the ceremony in November, and to receive the Music Influence Award. This is the kind of ridiculousness we got to put up with still. People taking advantage of you. Well, you didn't sign the contract. Well, if their lawyer signed the contract, like what? It's just, and that's why we need workshops. We need information on how to do all these things, creating wills, creating trust, protecting our money, all those things we personally need that you need to learn in your 20s and 30s so that when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, everything is taken care of. Things that should be done now so that later nobody can take anything from you. But these are the things we still have to deal with. I can say I don't understand, but unfortunately, I fully understand. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, talk text line and you right here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, August 14th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Jackson Park, Picnic Area 2, located at 3500 West Forest Home Avenue, and at the Basilica of St. Josephat, located at 2333 South 6th Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments while supplies last. Brought to you by Common Council President Jose G. Perez and Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sir Chance was talking about the video I talked about in my top 5 at 5 and say, yep, I saw the video, and what's so crazy about it is that them scumbags had the audacity to yell, police, get on the ground, as they were kicking in the door. Shoot them sons of bleaches if whomever that doggone froggy and brazen enough to come up in yours in an attempt to damage and or take what you and your family have worked hard for. Can you imagine if the homeowner had been home and shot them in the state of Wisconsin with our own version of castle doctrine? Black community would be up in arms. White community would be up in arms. Whatever nationality those people were, they would have been screaming and hollering. And said 24 RNC host committee recently donated $5 million to local Milwaukee nonprofits. Over $91 million was originally raised by RNC convention. $5 million was left over. Okay, that does not equate to helping the black community, giving to a nonprofit where you get a tax write-off for, or one nonprofit giving to another. Or I don't know if it was a political, so technically it can't be a nonprofit. I'm not really impressed. See, part of the issue is that when people need help, you give them money, when in fact you can give them less money and more knowledge, and then they can go out and generate $50 million instead of just the $5 you gave them. But that's what keeps people in their space, right? They keep getting free stuff. You can only get a Quest card for so long, but some people get a Quest card, they just keep having children, and they take advantage of the system. And if the state's going to give the kid health care, and mama has her own health care through the state, we're like, why would you change? You get used to living off $20,000, $30,000 a year, but you don't have to pay for anything. And that's such a small fraction. I'm telling you, it is such a small fraction of people. They don't even give out Quest cards anymore. What's it, Snap? The small amount of people that take advantage of that in a negative way is so small, but we never think about it. We never think about it. So while I can respect that, Ann, I don't know if it really, I don't know. I don't know. Mackey said it's always been a class issue. because those blacks that initially got higher levels of education and wealth and became the talented 10th became the black elites. So is there a problem with that? Is there actually a problem with that? Is there a problem? We're going to talk about it tomorrow. We're going to roll it out. Is there a problem with black people living in a space where their houses aren't getting broken into, their cars aren't getting broken into, their children aren't getting beat up, they're not getting robbed, people aren't stealing from them? Like, is that a problem? Because when you know better, you do better. But if you don't know better, you can't do better. So then what? Mackey goes on to say, and those people that are well-educated and develop critical thinking skills are the ones most prepared to adapt to changes in the economy and the market. Now, really, City Girl said, LaRon, during the time when this book was written, wealthy and educated blacks were not exempt from segregation, but I do agree that education and whatever wealth was had made life a little better. No, it made it a lot better. And I'm going to bring some, see, you all help me. I'm going to bring some books in tomorrow that you should actually order and read so you can get a grasp on the depth of how black people were actually significantly wealthy at the turn of the 20th century. These lies that people keep telling us, these things that black people have been struggling all their life, are the ones and some of the people that own the, I almost said something. No, I'm going to say it. The poverty pimping nonprofits that are living off poor people in Milwaukee. Your goal as a nonprofit should be able to put yourself out of business. There's no reason your nonprofit is making hundreds of millions of dollars year after year after year, paying CEOs $500, $400, $300, $200,000, unless you have an ongoing program like maybe Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Boys and Girls Club. But when all you're doing is being a pass-through and giving away money to other people, that's ridiculous. That's just me, but I think that's ridiculous. Getting money from the federal government to do something that other people can do for free. And you hire your family, you hire your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, your cousin, and you make money off nonprofits. Again, if I remember the statistic, Milwaukee has more nonprofits per capita than any other city in America. That's ridiculous. When I see people, hey, I want to go to school to get a degree in nonprofit management. No. Unless you're going to work for a major nonprofit that has a program like a Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or Boys and Girls Club, or Boy Scouts or Girls. No. No, those places are proven to be effective in every community they're in. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, male, female, don't matter. They have proven it. But some of these other programs where people are collecting, and I'm not mad. I get, you get what you get. The market bears you making $500,000. Hey, God bless you. But at some point, aren't you working to put yourself out of business? Like, aren't you working to say, hey, you know what? Yeah. When we cure poverty, yes, we're going to shut down. When we run out of money, yeah, we're going to shut down. And few have. Many have gone out of business because they couldn't generate money. But not many with hundreds of thousands and hundreds of millions of dollars that they don't. And so many of these are created so that businesses can give money and write off much of what they do. So I get Urban League, NAACP, I get that. They have very specific programs. They have very specific things they do for the community. They make sure you get your GED, your high school equivalency, your training and all that to get jobs. I get that. Not Really a City Girl said, the black elite created their own internal segregated caste system similar to their oppressors. I don't know if I'd call them oppressors, but here. All to be accepted and survive. That double consciousness is tricky. Well, I think you're on the outside looking in, Not Really a City Girl. I think your understanding of that is a little biased and jaundiced like all of us? Like we all see it that way? You don't think that community on the northwest side of Milwaukee, from Brown Deer Road south, north of Good Hope, and all over in there, where all those black people live in houses that are worth $500,000 and up? You don't think that's segregation? That's segregation. They're segregated from the lower middle class and other black people. They are. And it was purposeful, and it was on purpose. Because they want people breaking into their house and stealing their stuff. And that's just how it is. And when you reach a certain level and we reach a certain income, you're not going to put up with that. Mackie said, have you seen Makeba Williams' mini documentary, I Am Black Elegance, from Oak Bluffs, which is Martha's Vineyard, about black elites summering at Martha's Vineyard? Yes, they summer at Martha's Vineyard, and they go every first week of August, which is what? The full week is this week, next week. And it's called Black Week. And a whole bunch of black people show up. Now, you got to be able to afford it. And they show up, and they hang out, and they barbecue, and they party, and they have fun. Maggie said, true, there are usually hierarchies in most societies for our people at a heavy cost. Why is it a heavy cost? And I've read E. Franklin Fraser's Black Bourgeoisie. So when you're a part of the black bourgeoisie, when you're part of the academic elite and you write a book, I don't know. Pot calling kettle black. I'm just saying. Come on. And is there something bad about being bourgeoisie? Is there something bad about being, like, aren't you working in America so you can make more money so you can live in a better house and have a better life and all that, and now you trash people who are black who are trying to do it? Makes no sense to me. Makes absolutely, positively no sense. None whatsoever. And Mr. Medee, you can laugh about it, but you don't get it. But we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And you can be cool living in Oak Creek. I get it. But don't bash people who can afford to do something you can't. If anything, you should look at how they got it and how they did it and how you can do it too. I'm just saying. It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, it's easy to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home, always designed with innovation, rigorously tested for quality and performance to last for years, and built to create long-term energy savings. Stop by Pella's booth at the Expo Center at the Wisconsin State Fair. It's going on right now through August 10th. And if you order by August 31st, 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. When we come back, more from the Talk and Text line. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
We've still got some backups along 794 southbound, south of the Hone Bridge, right about at just past Oklahoma Avenue. We have the right lane blocked with a crash. Apparently, it was a pretty hefty crash there earlier today. So watch out for that. We've also got southbound on 43 backing up from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. Northbound slow from Fond du Lac Avenue up to about Locust. And eastbound 94, watch for delays from the county line all the way through the zoo, back on the brakes from 84th Street to about 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, lingering smoke, partly cloudy skies, low of 66 at the lake, 60 inland. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer, and more humid, a high of 80. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design.
Great impressions.
Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Ben Jammin with his truth.
Truth Nation and all the juicy jammers out there, can I be real with you for a second? We live in a world that's obsessed with right now. But God doesn't do right now. God does right on time. Psalms 27 verse 14 says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart." Truth Nation, there was a time in my life where I felt completely stuck. I couldn't find a job to save my life. I'm talking interview after interview. And my gas tank was always on empty. Just pure struggle. I hated it. Then I finally caught a break. One morning, I got offered a job at the Hilton Hotel. All I had to do was sign my paperwork at 10 a.m. and I'd have a job. Only thing was, I didn't have the gas to get there. So I made a plan. Wake up early, Benjamin. Go donate plasma, Benjamin. Just to get $50. Yes, Benjamin. Buy yourself some gas and pay your phone bill. Now, I hated donating plasma, but it was my only means of income. The plan sounded simple, right? But everything went wrong that morning. From no gas in my car, to the donation of my plasma at the plasma center, to me not getting a job at the hotel because I was late. I remember crying out to God, "What do you want from me?" Now, a week had went by, and a good friend looked at me and said, "Benjamin, you can't rush greatness." And you know what? My friend was right. Because if I had got what I wanted at that time, working at the hotel, then I wouldn't be over the radio talking to you all each and every day, letting y'all know how amazing you all are. So if you're waiting for your moment, feeling drained, literally or spiritually, don't quit. Don't rush what God is still preparing. Because sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The Brewers outscored the Nationals 38-14 in the three-game sweep this weekend. They also set a franchise record with 56 hits over a three-game series and maintained their two-game lead over the Cubs.
And the Brewers turn a double play, and it's a landslide victory in D.C. The Brewers win it 14-3. It's a Milwaukee mandate. They sweep the Nationals, and the Brewers, the first to 67 wins in Major League Baseball.
The Brewers take on the Atlanta Braves in a three-game series. Brewers sit atop the MLB at 67-44. The Packers host their first preseason game this upcoming Saturday against the Jets at 7 p.m. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
the afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. You know, August is Black Business Month, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth is teaming up with Associated Bank to celebrate the excellence of Black-owned business in our community. Together, we're committed to uplifting local organizations and supporting Black businesses. That's why Carrie Noni will be hosting a Black Business Spotlight show on Tuesday, August 26th from 6 to 7, and she'll spotlight 3 locally owned Black businesses and tell their story of success. Remember, whatever your financial needs are, Associated Bank can help. Remember, FDIC. 833-212-1017 is the number. So Alfonso said that not really a city girl said, no one is bashing Dr. Ken. We're just discussing the book indirectly. And I told her, well, I'm just trying to make good radio. Come on, I gotta push back some. Laron said, when it's preachers, athletes, or musicians moving to the suburbs, blacks don't care. When regular black folks, then there's a problem. Alfonso said kids was in the neighborhood watching the house. You know they was. All right, SC, have a good one. Laron said, I have relatives who stopped talking to us when my parents moved to Glendale in 1974. We haven't spoken since. Wow. It said, you were reading the questions from the bottom up when the question conversations from the top down make more sense. It make more sense for you. But I don't have time to sit here and read all the things, so I try to go through. Come on. See how not really a city girl be beating up on me? You wait till I see her again. Mackie said, what are your views on the transcendent elite class like Oprah, LeBron? What makes them transcendent? Michael Jordan and investor Robert F. Smith from Disintegration, the Splintering of Black America by Eugene Robinson. Well, is it a splintering of Black America, or is it what we do when we live in a capitalist society? Getting rid of a capitalist society won't remove people from being rich. It'll just make us equal, and some people will be more equal than others. It'll create a Politburo, then it'll turn to communism, and then people will just lord it over you, and you got to follow everything we say or off with your head. So, no, I'm not. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about chapter 6, about black men, about the talented 10th, and I'm going to bring in some books. I hope I remember I put something in my calendar. I'm going to bring in some books that I think you should start to read so you can broaden that understanding of how successful black people were and can be. Because if you can do it then, 38 some odd years after the Emancipation Proclamation and slavery, you can do it today too. Oh, SC, happy birthday. Enjoy dinner and the rest of your day. Very cool. So we can talk about books, but a lot of those books, and let me be clear, a lot of those books are based on socialist ideas and communistic ideas. And when they talk of equality, they talk about equality and everybody making the same money. And that is just not, human nature doesn't even support that. I'm just saying, human nature doesn't support that. Oprah and LeBron and Michael Jordan and Robert F. Smith are proof. They're not splintering Black America. They're taking advantage of the opportunities that they had in America, and they happen to be Black. And some of the things they had to deal with and all of them had to. If you talk to Oprah, she had to deal with the dual consciousness. She had to deal with all that stuff. And so did LeBron and Michael Jordan and Robert F. Smith. Government coming after some of them. You know, public shaming about gambling and all that. So when you talk about the splintering of Black America, what are you talking about? Rich people that are Black didn't cause you to commit crimes and do things that you do and shootings and are you saying the upper middle class and the upper class Black people in Milwaukee caused you to go out and shoot and kill somebody? And that's one of the reasons why there's disintegration in Black America. They themselves have shown you how you can create your world and take advantage of opportunities and win. It's not going to be easy. You're going to always have a double consciousness. You're always going to have a struggle. There's always going to be a veil up. They're going to always look at you to conform, and you have to decide how far you're willing to go in order to make it. Like I did. I did a short-term step back, get what I need, and then move forward and do all the things that you do. All this other stuff and all this other noise, you got to get rid of that, because otherwise you'll just dig a hole. And we forget that, but that's all you're doing is dig a hole. L. Dawson said, I'm not mad at those who have worked, invested, and planned to be financially secure, but we should also teach others how to do it if they want the opportunity. You know what I say to that? Well said.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, my name is Noor, and I am proud to be a Riverside University High School Tiger. As a rising sophomore, I am excited to get involved in many opportunities. RUHS offers like advanced placement classes, sports, and student council. But what I love about Riverside most is that Riverside University High School makes everyone feel welcome and provides students with lots of opportunities. On Saturday, August 23rd, from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, join us at Riverside for the Truth Family Fest. We will have entertainment, food trucks, and vendors. See you there.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource, what does the process consist of when coming through this program?
You know, it's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all of those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources Inc. and other partnerships that we have like through WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HDTVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit 3rdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth Nation, please join our 3rd annual Truth Family Fest, Saturday, August 23rd, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School. Admission is absolutely positively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, free and a great place to have fun while celebrating with friends and family. And there's also some amazingly good food and great music and the opportunity to win some big prizes, including backpacks for the kids. So make sure you save the date, 3rd annual Truth Family Fest, Saturday, August 23rd, 11 to 3 p.m., Riverside University High School. Truth Family Fest is presented by Crash Course at U.S. Cellular. It's also sponsored by Milwaukee Area Technical College, Landmark Credit Union, U.S. Bank, Milwaukee Public Schools, Gruber Law Offices, Big Frog, Educators Credit Union, and Riverside University High School. I want to say thank you for listening. You've been listening to Truth in the Afternoon with me, Dr. Ken Harris. Truth Unfiltered, also known as Truth Unlimited, is coming up. You'll get it when you listen. It's coming up from 6 to 8, and then we got the Tori Lowe Show and rebroadcast until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning with Benjamin and Carrie Noni. So make sure you hang out for the best in Milwaukee Black Talk. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, y'all. God bless. Take care. I'm out.